Being a Christian athlete training to be a professional triathlete for the past 5 months now has taught me a lot about myself. And the truth is that it's lonely. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it honestly hasn't always felt like it was a good thing. Being a Christian athlete, I'm often using my time to connect with God and training my body to its absolute limits. There's a lot of lukewarm people in this life, and I mean that as both a Christian and as an athlete. Revelations 3 verses 15 and 16 say, I know your deeds, that you are neither hot nor cold. I wish you were either one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth. Being lukewarm is the worst temperature to be at. In Christianity terms, being cold means you don't believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you're spiritually dead. Hot meaning you've accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and you're no longer dead, but alive. And lukewarm meaning that you know about Jesus, but you have yet to surrender your heart to Him. And in terms of sports and being an athlete, I also think lukewarm is the worst place to be at. Cold meaning you haven't even considered why you play the sport. Hot meaning you play the sport for the love of the game. You leave your heart out on and off the field, giving it everything you have and for God's glory. Lukewarm meaning not caring much about the game, trying to live through self-fulfillment and for your own glory. In this case, I think we could sum both up to that it's better to commit or not commit yourself fully to something rather than to say you're living on the fence, trying to live in both sides. Being a person of the world, a man or woman of God, a committed athlete, or an athlete that tries only when they want to. I don't consider myself a lukewarm person. First and foremost, even though I am an imperfect person, I have gave my heart to God regardless of the mistakes I have and I know I will make. I also commit myself to becoming the best athlete I can while glorifying God. And being a committed athlete means not only putting in the work when I want to, it means putting in the work even when I don't want to. I feel like these two go so hand in hand in this example specifically because not many people will fully commit themselves to something. Not many people will glorify God when it's not convenient for them. Not many people will work out when it's not convenient for them. Not many people will go the length they know they should go, the length that they need to go. They only go the length that they want to go, which is why we fall short. I'll tell you why solitude has been an important part of my journey though, and why it will be an important part of yours. Ever since I committed myself to becoming a Christian athlete, my circle has become extremely small and the people I constantly surround myself for the fact that I stopped doing the same things that lukewarm people do. I've been alone for almost all the time I've spent working out and worshiping God. But what that has taught me is, for the lack of better words, to be real with myself. I could take myself to such a level of real passion and purpose with the understanding of why I believe what I believe and why I do what I do. And I believe that God put me in this position to help me get a better understanding of His purpose for me and a better understanding of myself. When we isolate ourselves, real, raw, genuine emotions and decisions come out. No one's telling you what to do. No one's telling you how to feel. Being in solitude helps us block out the noise and listen to what God's telling us and even what our brain is trying to tell us. Solitude forces us to face our lives head on. We are able to see more clearly through a godly perspective what is important in our lives. Working out in solitude allows us to figure out why we are really working out and to what extent am I going to work out. Solitude doesn't always look like peace and quiet. In my experience, it often isn't. It can grow loud with clanging thoughts running around in our minds, but it is just our thoughts and not mixed with the noise the world brings in. Being in solitude for the longest sense of time has really allowed me to discipline myself in all aspects of my life, understanding myself and the values and purposes I carry with the things that I do. So when I know I need to pray, I humbly pray. When I know I need to run, I go run. But the process is never as simple as that though, and sometimes we're tempted with something that looks greater, which is where the power of being hot and committed comes from and not being lukewarm. It becomes more of a second thought to do these things naturally because you understand the why. You understand your real passion and purpose. Honestly though, sometimes it doesn't always feel like the right choice to be in that solitude and to be so driven. Sometimes I just feel tempted to take the day off or disobey God. I just did my longest run last week, 21 miles. And there were more than 21 times during that run where I wanted to give up, where I was tempted to throw in the towel and just call it there. But I didn't. I kept pushing forward. And that's exactly how I look at my faith and life in general. You can never dismiss the noise. You could pretend it's not there, sure, but that probably won't do you any good. You learn to hear God for guidance and your most real authentic self, and not the world. Solitude is important, just as Jesus even practiced, because it helps us separate ourselves from worldly things. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you to be alone 24/7, no. Because surrounding yourself with people with similar values as you is great. No, I'm saying that solitude in general is important. And not necessarily an easy thing, at least for me it hasn't been. And even to this day, it always isn't easy to be in solitude and fully committed. However, that's why it's so important. Nothing great in life will ever come easy. When times get hard, especially when stuff hits the fan, the truth comes out. The real, authentic version of yourself comes out. So what values and purposes will you have to fall back on? What type of person are you going to be? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless. Don't follow me, follow God.